So I just copped negative feedback on eBay and they told me they cannot remove it. Nobody that can remove it, nothing can be done about it. And I'm going to show you how I'll get it removed. I'm going to show you a little secret phrase that I use to eBay chat sometimes that works in my favor. I've never had it fail other than like when things were sort of changing on eBay, where I did a video ages ago about that. That ended up getting resolved doing this method. And it's happened again today. I'm gonna run through it as quick as I possibly can. I don't wanna beat around the bush, muck around with you here. I just wanna show you me getting rid of it and how I actually went about it and what actually happened. Simple as that. So simply what happened here, I've been left a negative feedback for an item that's gone to the Philippines. The buyer, it's their first time actually buying an item on eBay, and the item doesn't fit them. So they've left a negative saying that item not as described. They didn't ask for a return. I've actually reached out and offered a return. I said, look, if you want to return it, fair enough. I've done the right thing by eBay. So there's the first point, sort of. That's what they're always going to tell you to do, is reach out to the buyer. I make sure that's the first thing I do. They didn't respond. It's been 2 days since then. Then I've reached out to eBay, and eBay, I just said, what's happened? I provide measurements for everything. There's photos, there's all that sort of stuff. I've told them they can return it if they want, and no response. Can you remove it? And eBay said no. Customer service said,
how about no, Scott?
Told me to go and get, which is annoying. So, I mean, this is one where it's a bit of a time waster. And it does me head in having to do this. Sometimes I wonder to myself, is it actually worth it? Or, you know, is my time valued elsewhere? Like half an hour to an hour talking to these people, and I could just have it, you know, leave it there, respond to it, and move on. So their options were contact them. I've done that. I've tried to explain that to eBay. They just told me to do it again, basically. They said I can respond to it so my customers can see the response. Now, I'm not against that. I don't mind if you do cop a feedback there where you think you're in the right. Responding to it sometimes is a good thing. Like I had one sort of a little while ago where I genuinely stuffed up. I sent somebody the wrong book, and it was like a $15 book. I was like, yeah, righto. And I responded to that by sending in the right book and apologizing, saying, yes, that was my mistake. I've sent you the right one. I hope all is okay. And I thought, you know, I'm going to leave that there purely because customers only look at negatives. So if they come to the negatives, they see that I've responded to it in a respectful manner and I've done the right thing by them, then they'll go, oh, that's not even a bad one. That's actually more positive, because they don't look at your positive feedbacks. Anyway, they didn't have to ask. They requested a revision and they completely changed their feedback to be a positive. So that's just sort of a little bit of an example. It's not the end of the world. A negative feedback's not going to hurt, especially if you're in a big store. So basically, you know, it's not the end of the world, but I do try and get rid of most of them anyway, because, well, you know, you got to, and I want to do it as quick as possible. I've got one at the moment, which is annoying, as there was like a piece missing off a little figure that I sent, which I clearly showed in the photos and description. And, you know, they're trying to get the false INAD. They open an INAD. It's a pain in the bum. That sounds funny saying that, pain in the bum. It's a pain in the bum, and, you know, it's going to get resolved, but eBay France have to deal with that. You know, we'll work that one out. But this particular one, I'm going to go through it now. I'll show you the conversation and how I get rid of feedbacks when they tell me they can't. Like this particular one where they said that there's no way. He literally tells me in this, there's no way it can be removed. I can't do it. You can't do it. Nobody can do it. You just got to respond to it and ask them to change it. And, well, I call bullshit. So there we go. Reviewed the details. Appreciate the fact that you've tried to help the buyer. On further checking the details, I see that you do not offer a return for an item if it doses not fits. However, the buyer has mentioned that they received an item that does not fit, which means they wish to have from your end and resolve this mutually, which, yeah, I do have returns, so I don't know why. To kindly communicate with the buyer, I've said I also messaged he's welcome to return the item, which he's ignored that. Once the issue is resolved, then you may ask to revise the feedback, and you can also send them a revision request. I've done this. He didn't respond. Then eBay says, moreover, you can also leave a reply on the feedback left by the buyer so that the other buyers can see a point of view. Well, yeah, I can do that, but it's kind of a false feedback, so, I don't want to. I'm hoping to have it removed as I've done everything that I'm supposed to do. I can see that you messaged them on the 26th of March to help them with their issue. I really appreciate you for this. Further, I'd like to inform that might have not logged into their account to check their messages. That's not my problem, mate. Hence, I would encourage you to send them a reminder, which I shouldn't have to do that. If they've got a problem, they should be checking it, eh? That's what I reckon. Let me know in the comments if you disagree, but have it resolved mutually, and then the feedback can be revised or removed. This is the buyer's first purchase, so I wanted to make that clear to this guy, which doesn't say much for what is to come. I provided a way for him to return, even though this is technically his issue for not reading the listing properly. What more can I honestly do here? And he says, I said I would have thought seller protection, this is a key. I always mention this at least probably twice. Drop the seller protection thing. Would have helped here, as I've done everything eBay asks. Never mind the grammar. I'm just used to not being on a bloody computer. I can't be bothered looking for it. I do understand that you wish to have it removed. However, as for the issue of the buyer's not been resolved, hence has the system not allowed us to access to have the feedback removed. So this is a lie. He's telling me that the system doesn't allow them to remove that, which is, in my opinion, bullshit. I said, I've given the option, and the issue for the buyer is due to him not reading the listing. This seems very absurd. You thanked me for 16 years of service, yet allowed somebody to come onto the platform for the first time and leave that. So this is where I start, kind of. I don't want to get aggressive, but this is where I kind of get a bit firmer, and I want to speak to somebody of importance, and I kind of make that pretty clear. They usually try and ignore it to start with, so I have to ask twice. He's noted that he's seen I've tried to communicate with them a couple of days ago, but we must give time to the buyer to reply and resolve this mutually. And they said the item did not fit. I put measurements. What else can I do? So then I start with the questions without the question marks or the capital letters, but don't worry about that. And then I say, yeah, please forward me on to another member of your team. And then he states, I'm sorry, we do not have the option to forward the chat. Also, I'd like to inform that no one will be able to remove this feedback due to the member's experience, and to have it resolved, you will require communicate with the buyer and resolve the issue. So he's now told me that this feedback cannot be removed. There's nobody there that can physically remove this feedback due to the system. The system won't allow it. So you can scrap that, and he can't forward this chat. Whereas I was actually forwarded by someone else to get to this chat. So I'm not sure why he can't forward chats. But anyway, so it's two little porkies that Siddharth here has dropped on me. Two little porky pies. Lion, you get pimples on your tongue, Siddharth. So I noted my similar situation where the feedback was resolved, and I was also forwarded to another chat recently, which was this chat actually. I'd like to inform by putting the measurement you have done the correct thing. So there you go, he's admitted to me doing the correct thing. However, it does not mean that the item you shipped will be exactly the same as described in the listing, which is fair enough, I get that. Also, we do not handle the item physically, which I've touched on that, I understand that. So I said, you just allow anybody to jump on and leave this. As far as I knew, we had seller protection. Bang, second time I've dropped the seller protection. Literally, no matter what I do, I can't win this situation. I said, how come other members of customer service can help me with these situations, but you cannot? See what I did there? I kind of was a dick without being a dick. I basically said his colleagues are better than him without saying his colleagues are better than him. I guess that gets the thoughts running. I'm trying to play psychological here, Coco. This is where I dropped the magic phrase. May I please ask the name of your supervisor? This is where he went quiet. I didn't hear from him for a while, so I hit him up. You know how they hit you up if they don't hear from you for 20 seconds? I did it after about 10 minutes. I said, hello, I'd appreciate it if I could speak to somebody, please. And then we got the same thing that happens every time. They say this exact same thing. It's like an automated phrase. They've got hotkeys on the go. Please allow me 2 minutes to quickly pull up the details so I can resolve this in the best possible manner. So I'm polite. Thanks so much. I appreciate you willing to help. Thank you for waiting patiently. I've reviewed the details and I appreciate you for the fact that you've been waiting here patiently. You're welcome, without the grammar and capital letters. Further, as the issue is not accessible from our end and you also tried to resolve the issue mutually with the buyer, hence I've gone one step further to have it resolved for you. Oh, okay, thank you. I act surprised. So what is the next step? Great news for you. Here is the resolution. Cliffhanger. I'm delighted to share that I have removed this feedback from your account. Rest assured it will disappear within 24 to 48 hours from your account. I'm positive that resolution is shared with you. I have shared with you has made you smile. It has. Look, I've got another tooth. You're a champion, Siddharth. You're an absolute champion. You have gone above and beyond for me today, and it doesn't go unnoticed. I really appreciate your understanding, and your appreciation is really important for me. I would like to also apologise to you for being stuck with the policies initially. However, I thought that you have almost done everything to help the buyer, blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much for your apology. Thank you. That's okay. You're most welcome. Blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much. So that's basically it. When I get them, if they aren't willing to help, some customer service agents just do it straight away. Sometimes you can just leave the chat, say, all right, no worries, come back the next day, try again. And you might get somebody that's just going to do it straight away. They're all different. They all respond different. And I think it's very important to be respectful to them because they are humans behind there. They probably, a lot of the time, don't use English as their first language. So, it's very important to be nice to them because it's also going to reflect on you in the future. If you get on there and be a dick every time, they're probably just going to stop talking to you. But yeah, I find that, it's like they've probably been told to do it this way because they don't want people just coming on and just getting rid of any old feedback, especially if they're in the wrong. But sometimes you just got to push it. Now, in saying that, I don't love the idea of wasting time on it either. Like, if you're going to spend a lot of time, like, is it worth it? Like I spoke before, the positive comments or responses to it. Also, bitching about getting negative feedback on social media like I am. Hey, I'm allowed to. I'm on YouTube and I'm showing you how I get rid of it. Use these steps and hopefully it can help you. There's no point jumping in Facebook groups going, oh, look at this prick, he give me a negative feedback. You're just going to use mental energy and time and, it's a waste of time. But anyway, that's how I got rid of it. That's how it seems to work every time. If they're not cooperating, generally they will if you talk to the boss. Go full Karen on them, Coco. That's how it works. That's how it works these days. All right, appreciate you. I hope that helps. If you're struggling with feedback, let me know below. If you've tried this method, it hasn't worked, or if you have any other methods that you think may work better than this, let me know below because we are in this together. And, it's not the only way to get rid of them. It's just what I use and it works. Appreciate you. Love you. And next video, we might go for a thrift or something.
Scouring the thrift shops, hunting for gold, and the diary of a flipper watch me unfold.